Ben thought he had everything under control. He believed he knew exactly how to train, how to win, and how to push everyone around him into doing things his way. But what he did not expect was Amy standing right in front of him, refusing to back down. What started as a simple argument about riding quickly turned into something much bigger. Pride, frustration, and years of stubbornness collided in one unforgettable moment. Ben was used to being the one in charge, but this time, Amy made it clear that things were going to be different, and she did it in a way he would never forget. Ben was already frustrated before the real fight even started. He had been working hard with his horse, trying to prove himself, trying to show everyone that his methods were the right ones. He wanted control, perfection, and results. To him, mistakes were unacceptable, and every ride had to look flawless. But Amy saw something very different. She noticed that Ben was focusing too much on looking good and not enough on actually helping the horse improve. That difference in thinking created tension between them from the start. When Ben found out that Amy had been talking to his coach, things exploded fast. He confronted her immediately, angry and defensive. He demanded to know what she had said, convinced she had ruined everything for him. Amy stayed calm, but she did not back away. She explained that she had not planned to say anything, but the coach kept asking questions. Ben hated hearing that. In his mind, his coach was supposed to be focused on him, not listening to Amy's opinions. That made him feel exposed, like someone had seen through the image he was trying so hard to protect. Amy pointed out something that hit even harder. She said when she watched him ride, she finally understood why he got so angry when the jumps were moved. For Ben, those jumps were his comfort zone. He wanted everything set exactly where he liked it because that gave him confidence. He snapped back immediately, reminding her that they were his jumps and she had changed them. But Amy did not let him hide behind that excuse. She told him the truth straight to his face. If he only wanted to make himself feel good by riding a perfect course with no mistakes, then fine. But that was not real training. Real competition would never be that predictable. In a real show, the course changes. The pressure changes. The horse reacts differently. If he only trained inside his safe little world, he would never actually grow. Those words hit Ben hard because deep down, he knew she was right. Still, pride would not let him admit it. Instead, he turned the blame toward his horse. He said the real problem was that he had been riding Red for 3 years and the horse was not getting any better. That was easier to say than admitting he might be the problem. Amy looked at him with complete disbelief. She knew Red was not the issue. She knew the horse was capable, strong, and willing. The problem was Ben refusing to change. But Ben kept pushing, almost convincing himself as he spoke. He said maybe Amy had actually done him a favor because now he realized he had maxed out on this horse. In his mind, the answer was simple. If things were not improving, then the horse must be holding him back. Amy was done listening. Without hesitation, she told him to give her his helmet. Ben looked confused, asking what she was doing. But Amy had already made up her mind. She told him to raise the jump, not just a little, but a couple of notches higher. Ben hesitated because suddenly this was no longer just an argument. Now Amy was about to prove something. She was stepping into the arena, and there would be no excuses left after this. He questioned her, but she simply told him again, just do it. Her confidence made it impossible to ignore. Ben slowly raised the jump. Then Amy pointed to another one and told him to raise that too. Fine, he said, still convinced this would somehow prove his point. But deep down, there was nervousness now. Because if Amy succeeded, everything he had been saying would fall apart. The arena became silent except for the sound of movement and tension hanging in the air. This was no longer about a simple disagreement. This was about truth. Amy was about to show him whether the problem was really the horse or the rider. Ben stood there for a moment, still holding on to the idea that he was right. But the way Amy was looking at the course didn't feel like doubt or hesitation. It felt like certainty. And that bothered him more than he wanted to admit. Because if she really believed what she was saying, then she was about to prove it in a way he couldn't argue with. He tightened his grip, watching as she adjusted her position, calm and focused, like the higher jumps didn't scare her at all. Around them, everything felt heavier now. This wasn't just a training disagreement anymore. It was turning into a silent challenge, one that didn't need more words. Amy finally moved forward, and the moment she did, the entire energy shifted. The horse responded instantly, not confused, not hesitant, but alert and ready. Ben watched closely, waiting for mistakes he was sure would come. He expected hesitation at the higher jumps, maybe a refusal, maybe a stumble that would prove his point. But nothing went the way he thought it would. Amy didn't rush the horse, didn't fight it, didn't force control in a way that made it tense. Instead, she guided it with a steady confidence that seemed to quiet everything else around them. Each jump came cleaner than the last, as if the horse was finally being understood instead of controlled. And with every clean landing, Ben's confidence started to crack a little more. The higher jumps that were supposed to expose weakness were doing the opposite. They were revealing something Ben hadn't wanted to see. The horse wasn't the problem. It never really had been. The way Amy rode made that clear in a way that words couldn't. There was trust in every movement, not pressure. And that trust changed everything. Ben's earlier frustration slowly turned into silence, the kind that comes when someone realizes they've been arguing against something they can no longer deny. Still, he didn't speak. Pride kept him quiet, even as the truth unfolded in front of him. When Amy finished the course, she didn't celebrate. She didn't act like she had won anything. She simply slowed the horse and brought it to a calm stop, like it was just another ride. That calmness hit harder than any victory moment could have, because it wasn't about showing off. It was about proving a point that didn't need to be shouted. Ben looked at her, finally without anger, but with something more complicated. He had expected failure. He had expected mistakes. But what he saw instead was control, understanding, and a kind of riding that didn't rely on perfection, but on connection. For the first time, Ben didn't have an immediate comeback. The words he had been ready to say just didn't come out. Everything he had believed about Red, about training, about control, felt shaky now. Amy had not only cleared the jumps, she had cleared away his certainty. And standing there, watching the horse settle calmly beside her, Ben realized this wasn't just about one ride. It was about everything he had been refusing to see. The silence between them said more than the argument ever did.